It was a great day to be a soldier, to be part of the biggest parade in the state's history. Thousands marched down Capitol Avenue on a perfect summer day, the day the state said, "Welcome home, Desert Storm Warriors." Leading the pack in the victory celebration were the proud units of the Arkansas National Guard. More than 3,500 Guard troops were mobilized for the war against Saddam Hussein. They were ready, pumped, and eager to serve, even as far back as September 1990. A transportation unit from the town of Monticello had the distinction of being called first. The 1122nd had only 3 weeks to mobilize for what was then Operation Desert Shield. The company's men and women didn't know what to expect. There was some fear and much anxiety.
It's hard to leave family behind, but it's something that we've been trained for, and I feel it's our duty to do it.
But this Guard unit knew it had a job to do. Its big trucks were needed to haul troops and supplies through the desolate sand of the Saudi desert. The unit left Monticello early one Sunday morning for Fort Sill, Oklahoma. When the 1122nd hit the desert, the first contingent of Arkansas men and women was positioned in the Persian Gulf. And in its tracks came the largest mobilization of the Arkansas Guard since World War II. October 1990, nearly a third of the state's Guard units were put on alert. They were activated shortly after. These units ranged from combat arms to medical service. They were called in the midst of the biggest assembly of American fighting troops and materiel in 50 years. America was backing up its pledge to deter aggression and to free Kuwait. And the Arkansas National Guard would be at the core of that mighty force. Northwest Arkansas's 142nd Field Artillery Brigade, 1,800 Guardsmen with their 24 8-inch self-propelled howitzers were ready to send a serious message to Saddam Hussein.
After we moved across through Iraq, we turned south and come into Kuwait, so our operation was quite successful. We moved pretty fast. Sometimes we were up with the scout units. Some of our forward elements of the firing batteries moved so fast that they were in with the scout groups, and was quite proud of it.
The 224th and 217th Maintenance Battalion and Company were selected to provide critical field support for combat units. Camp Robinson's 148th Evacuation Hospital was one of just a few Guard medical outfits chosen for the buildup in the desert, although everyone hoped there would be little need for the hospital's 500-bed capacity. Two other medical units, Charleston's 296th and Lake Village's 216th, were tapped for their high-tech Humvee ambulances, although it was only the 216th that eventually deployed to Saudi. The 296 mobilized to Fort Polk, Louisiana, and remained there for the balance of the war. Later, several more units would be activated. Little Rock's 204th Dental Detachment mobilized to Germany, and Camp Robinson's 119th Personnel Company kept tabs on mobilized units while at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Central Arkansas's 212th Signal Battalion was actually the first to be alerted shortly after Iraq invaded Kuwait, but the unit wasn't activated until several months later. Higher command said the unit's state-of-the-art signal equipment would be more needed at Fort Hood than Saudi. That wasn't the case with the 25th RAOC from North Little Rock. It deployed to the Gulf in December 1990. The RAOC was integral in organizing a good portion of the rear for forward-deployed combat and support units that eventually drove Saddam's forces back across the desert. But Arkansas's Desert Storm involvement wasn't limited to its Army units. The Air Guard went too. Fort Smith's 188th Tactical Clinic sent people to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to backfill at the base hospital. The 188th Security Police Flight and Civil Engineering Squadron activated airmen too. Members of the engineering squadron were eventually deployed to King Fahd Airport in Saudi Arabia for several months. The 189th from Jacksonville activated airmen in its clinic, engineering squadron, Resource Management Squadron, Mission Support Squadron, Mobile Aerial Port Flight, Services Flight, and 154th Tactical Airlift Squadron. Some members deployed to England. Others flew support missions almost daily and performed vital functions at Little Rock Air Force Base during the war effort. Now, all these units, Army and Air, left an indelible mark in the desert sands at their mobilization sites and in the hearts and minds of those who called them to serve. The Desert Storm chapter has been closed, but there could be another need to serve and sacrifice. If that's the case, the units of the Arkansas National Guard will be there. Razorbacks, and proud.